Welcome back, dear viewers, and I'm pleased now to be joined by our distinguished guest, Mr. Samir, who is a fitness trainer. Good evening and welcome on Hala Kuwait.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to have you, sir. Now, can we start first and foremost by telling us what was the exact moment you realized you needed to change your life and lose weight?
Okay, so I'm going to give you like a quick backstory. So for those who don't know, I started off very heavy or obese, let's just call it that. So I was 130 kilos. And when it hit COVID, so when COVID hit basically in 2020, 2021, that's when I really started to basically just look at myself and just feel like I needed to change my body. I wasn't happy with how I was looking, my health was deteriorating, so I just took it upon myself to say, you know what, as soon as the gym starts to open, man, I just have to go at least get a couple of workouts in just so I can feel better about myself. So I guess you can say the exact moment that I started my fitness journey or just to change my life up was in 2021. Yeah.
So COVID, you can say, was the catalyst basically that kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, some people did say it is a blessing, and you
it
are
was a blessing in disguise.
You are a living example of that, sir.
Yeah.
So how much weight did you lose and over what period of time?
Okay, so I started off at 130. That was my heaviest. So I guess that was in 2021. So when I started to work out in the first 2 years, I dropped that 30 kilos. So I dropped down to 100.
MashaAllah.
And then with time, as I started to progress and build a little bit more muscle and just lose a little bit more body fat, I'm sitting around 95 kgs right now, but my body fat is somewhere around 10%. So there's not a lot of body fat, but there's a lot more muscle built. So I'm kind of on the heavier side, but in a good way though, in a lean way.
That is remarkable, and I'd like to share with our viewers that I wish we could show them, but you did show me the before and after, and it is absolutely astonishing.
I appreciate that.
The only thing, my reaction was, mashallah, mashallah, mashallah.
I really do appreciate that.
Yeah. So, what was the biggest challenge during your transformation journey?
Honestly, the biggest challenge isn't something you'd expect. The majority of the people might think that I would say like restricting calories or food or maybe the exercise itself. But for me personally, I think the biggest challenge that I faced was the self-isolation. Or not being able to really go out with my friends and just have that big social life that I used to have. See, because when you're really disciplined and when you really want to reach your goal, especially when it comes to fitness, not a lot of people, even your friends, are going to be on board with your plan. So it's going to require you to like really be by yourself the majority of the time.
There's peer pressure as well. Yeah.
Exactly, because let's be honest, if you're going to go out with your friends every weekend, you're most probably going to go out to restaurants.
Indulge.
Exactly, you're going to indulge, you're going to enjoy yourself. You're not going to say no to friends, even family gatherings. So
exactly.
I guess you can say that the biggest challenge that I faced was that self-isolation, or at least being locked in by myself and like that really laser-focused attention that I had towards my goal.
And that takes remarkable willpower in itself.
Of course.
To overcome that mental aspect of it, right?
It requires a lot of mental strength, yeah.
So, speaking of mentality, how did your mindset change from the beginning until now?
So I guess you can say the biggest change that I had in mentality was, I believe I was a little bit more reckless and a lot more irresponsible back when I was heavy. So I didn't really think about my actions. I just went with the flow, that's how they say. The biggest change I could say is I'm a lot more disciplined. So I don't really go off of emotions. I just follow the plan. I'm a lot more accountable towards my actions. So I don't blame external factors or say, this guy is genetically blessed, or this guy has this going on for him, and this guy has this going on for him. I just start to really hold myself accountable for all my actions and stop blaming others and stop feeling sorry for myself, I guess you can say. So those are like the biggest mental changes that I've went through, yeah.
So speaking of the mentality aspect of it, how did your mindset change from the beginning until now?
Okay, so I believe my mindset changed in ways that I wasn't disciplined. I was a lot more reckless back in the day. I didn't really hold myself accountable. I just used to blame external factors for like why I'm big or like why I'm not where I want to be in life. I guess you can say that the biggest change that I faced is I'm a lot more disciplined. I hold myself accountable for every action, and I'm a lot more responsible.
So what mistakes were you making before that kept you from losing weight? You touched on it, but can you expand, please?
Okay, so I guess the biggest mistake was being too available and saying yes to everything. So it's not really fitness related, or it's not really nutrition related. I guess the biggest thing that was holding me back, or the biggest mistake that I used to do back in the day, was always going with my friends and just doing whatever. So I didn't know how to say no. So I guess you can say that the biggest change was me being able to say no. No to certain outings, no to certain foods, no to certain everything, basically.
So creating those boundaries, basically.
Of course, just creating boundaries for yourself and respecting yourself as a man to say, okay, if that doesn't align with my goals, I'm just going to say no to it. I'm not going to do it. But I didn't do that back in the day. So I guess that's the biggest mistake that I faced when I was a little bit heavier than now. So yeah.
Yeah, I see. That is amazing also. So what was the first habit you changed that made the biggest difference?
The first habit that I changed was being a little bit more active. So I didn't really go full on steam ahead to the gym like at the beginning of my transformation. I didn't really go like full steam ahead on the nutrition, on the workouts. The first thing that I did was just get my body moving, whether it's walking outside, whether it's just doing normal chores at the house. So just get myself moving and just stop being lazy and stop just sitting on the couch the whole day just watching Netflix or anything like that. So I guess you can say the biggest change, or like the first habit that I did, was just be a little bit more active. So yeah.
It sounds like it was like a switch that turned on in you and lit a fire under you, basically.
It wasn't just like a switch that lit a fire under me, even though that's a very good point. It's years of just looking at yourself in the mirror, and years of you trying to fit into the certain clothes that you want to wear, and not being able to actually be satisfied with the way that you look. It's also years of your health deteriorating. You just can't even breathe properly.
Physical and mental, I believe.
Physical and mental, of course. I used to wake up tired, you know? So it was all of that just piling up to just made me, you know what, I have to change my life. By any means necessary, I just have to change it.
So how important is nutrition compared to exercise when trying to lose weight?
Both go hand in hand. So both are equally important. If you focus your entire mentality just on the gym, but not really on the nutrition side, yes, you're going to build a little bit of muscle, you might lose a little bit of weight, but you're not going to really be in shape because you're basically just eating junk, or you're not really focused on your nutrition. On the other hand, if you just focus on the nutrition but not really work out, or not have any type of training regimen, you're not really going to tone out, you're not really going to build muscle. So I believe that both of them are equally as important. But if your goal is just to strictly lose weight, I do believe that nutrition is way more important than just working out. So yeah.
And what does a sustainable fitness system mean to you?
A sustainable fitness system. Be as consistent as possible. Don't pressure yourself too much. If your goal isn't to become a bodybuilder, it's just to be in shape, just follow a training regimen that's 3 to 4 times a week. Eat as healthy as you possibly can. I'm not telling you to go on a very strict diet. Just eat as healthy as you can possibly be, and just stay consistent long enough, and you will see the results. The only problem is with people that they give up too quickly. They want all the results to basically happen within the first 2 weeks. It doesn't work that way. First 2 weeks, you're just getting started. It takes months on top of months for you to actually start to see the results that you really want to see. So be consistent. Don't put a lot of pressure on yourself when it comes to the diet and to the perfect training regimen and to the perfect diet. Just start. So I would just say just start, and everything's going to follow through, basically.
Well, it's very educational what you're sharing with us. I would like you to just pause there, as we'd like to take a break and show a report, and we'll be right back to the questions. Dear viewers, as usual, everyone behind the scenes has been working diligently to bring you the best content, and with that, we have prepared this report. Stay tuned. Welcome back, dear viewers. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Hala Kuwait on KTV2, the family channel. And I'm pleased to be joined once again with Samir, who's a fitness trainer. Now, we move on and shift gears to this question. People usually quit after a week, like you mentioned earlier. So what keeps someone consistent?
What keeps someone consistent? That's actually a very good question, because I get asked that all the time. So the only issue I face when it comes to being disciplined and being in that locked-in state of mind is, bro, let's be honest, it gets boring. And I understand that it gets boring. And that's why the people quit within the first weeks. But you always have to remind yourself why you started. You always have to reflect. You always have to remind yourself that, hey, you know what, I took this decision, I'm going to stick with it. So I guess the biggest changing factor that kept me disciplined the entire time was I took a couple of before pictures, which I mentioned, which you mentioned I showed you. So I kept on looking at those pictures. Every time I felt like I wanted to give up, I just look at that picture. I say, you know what, I will never look like this again. So I just kept on motivating myself. It might be a little bit of a harsh approach, but it's just not allowing myself to be like that ever again. I had a goal in mind and I'm gonna go for it no matter what. So I guess what people can do is take a couple of before pictures and just keep reminding yourself that you're never going to be out of shape or like unhealthy ever again. So you're just gonna stay locked into your goals, you're just gonna keep on grinding as much as you can.
What are some of the most common misconceptions about dieting you see today?
The most common misconceptions about dieting, that it has to be very plain, that it has to be very unflavorful, that it has to be very boring. Now, depending on your goal, if your goal is to become an actual bodybuilder, yes, you're gonna have to sacrifice taste for the results. But if you're just a normal guy that just wants to get in shape, that just wants to tone out, bro, there's a lot of food selections that you can eat which are very healthy and do taste good. So I do believe like the biggest misconception is that all people that want to be on a diet have to just eat plain chicken and broccoli. It doesn't work that way, no. You can still eat burgers, you can still eat whatever that you want to within your calorie range, and you're still going to lose weight, you're still going to look good.
So basically like portion control.
Portion control, 100%. Yeah, but if your goal is to become a bodybuilder, it does get a little bit boring, but that's for another goal though.
Yeah, exactly. So what role does sleep and stress play in weight loss and muscle gain?
A very big role, actually. So when you're not sleeping enough, your body isn't reducing stress, the stress hormone cortisol is always jacked up. Now, when your stress hormone is constantly jacked up, when it's always in that high range, it's going to really hinder your fat loss, it's going to really hinder your muscle building. I don't want to get too detailed into the scientific reasoning of why that happens, but just know that the more stress and the less sleep that you have, it's really going to slow down your progress.
How do you help clients stay motivated when they feel stuck?
So the way that I treat my clients, I treat them all just like my brothers, just like my friends, just like my close group of people. So I really like to understand why they're losing the motivation or why they're feeling the way they're feeling. If I can help, I will. And I'm always there with them 24/7, whether it's in the gym, whether it's on call. I treat them all as my brothers, and I want to see everybody win. So you can say that I'm that big brother motivation type of guy. So it's like whenever you're going through anything, you can just hit me up. We're always going to figure out a way.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you're like a doctor, basically, on call, basically.
Hopefully.
So how do you create a personalized plan for each client?
Okay, so first of all, when a client wants to basically have a membership with me, or like wants to train with me, or wants to change his life, of course I have to get on a call with him, understand exactly what his goals are. I have to assess where he's at in the current moment. After that, I'll design his diet plan. Whether it's he's skinny and he's trying to bulk up, I'll jack up his calories, his protein, his carbs, his fats. Whether he's trying to lose a little bit of weight, I'm going to put him on a calorie deficit. Also, keep the protein high, keep the carbs in the mid-range, keep the fats low. So that's for when it comes to the nutrition plan. When it comes to the training program, it depends on his daily schedule. If he's a very busy guy, he can't go to the gym every single day. So I have to figure out what works for him, whether it's 3 times a week, whether it's 4 times a week, whether it's 5 times a week. So it all depends on their daily schedule. So I customize the perfect plan that basically matches their daily schedule. Yeah.
So what small daily habits then can someone start today if they want to get healthier?
If they want to get healthier, portion control, just like you mentioned, when it comes to food. When it comes to activity, if you're not going to the gym every single day, just at least have some sort of movement throughout your day, whether it's going out for a walk, whether it's doing chores around the house, laundry even. Anything, just don't sit on the couch the whole day, because that will literally just deteriorate your health, man. So get moving, get going, portion control your food, hydrate. Especially, bro, you have to hydrate.
That's essential.
That's very essential. Like, drink a lot of water. It's really gonna help with your metabolism, digestion, bloating, your skin, everything. Your body's made up of 70% water. You need water. So yeah.
Now, what message do you want to give to people who feel overweight and just hopeless right now?
Don't lose hope. There's always a way. There's literally always a way. You don't have to go get a bypass surgery. You don't have to hop on a magic pill that's going to help you magically lose weight. There's always a way. Just stay focused, align yourself with your goals, and trust me, the results are worth it, man. So yeah, just don't give up on yourself. Just keep trying. Even if you fall a million times, you can always stand up.
Exactly.
So just don't give up.
Well said, Aoun. Of course, we do appreciate you being with us today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, man. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Well, dear viewers, that was Aoun Samir, who is a fitness trainer. Now, I would like to move on to this report that we have prepared. Let's watch it together, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.